going on, guys? It is Rinne-Hatake here, back with another video. And today I got What If Naruto was the reincarnation of Minato, otherwise known as What If Naruto was like Minato. And part 3 is almost out. This is gonna be part 4, so hopefully you guys enjoy. And we begin the story now. Both the Hokage and Naruto stood in front of his parents' portrait. Naruto spoke, without removing his eyes. I forgot to ask in the excitement. Gigi, what's my mother's name? Though he asked just that, Hiruzen thought it was better to tell him her story now rather than later. Her name was Kushina Uzumaki. She was the woman who was fearless, blunt, brash, and one of the most amazing people I've ever met. She was a deadly kunoichi as well. It was her name that you carry, Naruto. His nostalgic. I don't know. I apologize if I said that wrong. But we move. Naruto was amazed that his mother was so lovely, beautiful, as well as deadly. Naruto mentally applauded his father for landing such a catch and promised to do the same. She was from the Yuzushio-gakure, the land hidden in the whirlpools. The land hidden in whirlpools. I apologize if I said that name wrong, but we move. The Uzumakis were distant relatives of the Senju clan, the clan of the most Shodai and Nindaime Hokage. They were feared for their Fuinjutsu skills. They were the undisputed masters of the art. It was your mother who taught your father Fuinjutsu. They had immensely dense the large chakra reserves. Immensely dense and large chakra reserves, which gave them a longer life than any other ninja. Some of them had special chakra. Yeah, that's a special chakra. Okay, so special chakra, which they could physically manifest in the forms of chains. Your mother was one of them. He recalled, with Naruto soaking it all up, like a little child hearing stories from his parents. Hearing how powerful his mother's clan had, by extension, his mother was in Fuinjutsu, his resolve to master it only strengthened. He wanted to ask him why she was made the Jinchuriki of Kurama, but let it go. He could always ask another day. He turned his attention back to the portrait. He could not find any seals, but given his parents' skills in Fuinjutsu, they could have made a seal that hid all other seals. How do we go about this, Gigi? Hiruzen pinched his chin in thought. There was a high possibility that the portrait only required Naruto's blood to open. Letters from parents were only meant to be read by family, after all. You have to apply a little bit of blood on the portrait, Naruto. If something such as letters from your parents, is there, Minato would trust no one but his blood to read them. He took out a kunai and silently asked Naruto if he could slice his hand. Naruto gave him his hand without protest. Quickly and efficiently, Hiruzen sliced Naruto's thumb, opening a small cut. Naruto, knowing his fast healing would seal it within seconds, instantly wiped his thumb on the painting before it closed. For a second, nothing happened. Naruto and Hiruzen thought they might have been wrong, but the whole frame of the painting lit up, showing the intricate seals that only an Uzumaki or Minato would have hopes of understanding. There was a small click, and the portrait pushed out a little. Naruto, more eager than he had ever been in his life, opened the portrait. Inside, there was something very unexpected. So we move to chapter 4. Okay, chapter 4. Okay, there's a lot of author's note here, but we'll skip that. But here, we read, "Don't worry about it, Naruto. Feelings and thoughts such as those never truly fade away. You just learn to live with them. Besides, it happens to the best of them," Kurama reassured. Naruto noticed that Kurama excluded himself from the best of them and rose an eyebrow mentally. It does not happen to you? It doesn't happen to you? Kurama arrogantly puffed his chest and declared, "Of course not! I'm the Kyuubi no Kitsune boy. A being such as I am above such petty things." Naruto ignored the pompous rambling of the fox and turned his attention back to the envelopes. He quickly took them from their place and checked carefully if there was anything left. Seeing that he had taken all there was, he closed the portrait. The seals glowed, signifying the portrait had been locked back. A sudden thought struck Hiruzen, and he had to resist the urge to smack his forehead for what he was about to do. Why didn't I ask this earlier? Damn, the forgetfulness that comes with his age. Hiruzen felt really bad, but he had to do this right now. Tentatively, he placed his hand on Naruto's shoulder, knocking the boy out of his trance. He was gazing at the envelopes as if they were the most precious things in the world to him, which they were. "Naruto, why weren't you at your room in the orphanage yesterday in the evening?" he asked slowly, as if afraid to find out the answer to the question. The answer to the question. Naruto could not help but flinch that the question was brought up. When he had told Gigi about how he found his parents' identity last night, he had conventionally forgot to mention that he had been kicked out of the orphanage. He had hoped that Gigi would not ask him about that. In a mumble, Hiruzen barely understood what the blonde said. The matron kicked me out yesterday evening." Hiruzen suspected that the matron would have deliberately kept Naruto out of the orphanage last night because of the festival, but did not expect him to be thrown out of the orphanage. While not white-hot anger flooded his veins, that he barely restrained himself from letting out his killer intent. How dare they? How dare they? Well, how dare that woman do such a vile thing, throwing a 5-year-old out, knowing he would be killed. Why is the civilians' population of the village so stupid? It's like they don't trust Minato's skills at all. He raged inside his mind. However, he knew he was equally at fault. He should have never announced Naruto's status as the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi at all. Naruto would have lived comfortably without experiencing the hatred of the villagers. Naruto watched his Gigi's face carefully for any signs of anger. Fortunately, years of being a shinobi and Hokage allowed Hiruzen to keep a neutral face, but Naruto could tell from the subconscious tightening of Gigi's hands and his shoulders that he was angry. "I see. Was all he said before visibly collecting himself. Now, to address the main issue, he looked at Naruto with a grave look on his face. "Naruto, now that that's out of the way, we have to find a new place for you to live." The words were out of his mouth before he could stop them. "Not another orphanage, Gigi." Hiruzen stared at the desperate look Naruto was giving him. To be honest, he was scared that one day it would come to this. And surprisingly, he agreed with Naruto. He did not want Naruto to live anywhere. He would be hated. Unfortunately, that left only one option: Naruto. Does that mean you have to live alone? You have to live alone? He's silently wishing he could take the boy in himself. Unfortunately, he could not. The dreaded civilian council, was in his way. Naruto crossed his hands over his chest defensively, not hesitating for one moment to answer. Better than living some place where I'm treated with bias. He was looking at Hiruzen, chin tilted upwards in a way only children could, to show their stubbornness. Oh, Kushina, his stubbornness reminds me of you, he recalled with a smile. He knew Naruto would not budge for his point. Sighing, he said, but you are sure you will be able to take care of yourself. You will have to cook for yourself, bring food for yourself, clean your clothes, keep your home clean, which is very hard considering the size of this house, he explained wisely. However, all that wisdom has been thrown out the window when he noticed that Naruto was giving him, the look that Naruto was giving him. His face was set in a deadpan stare, an eyebrow raised. He found himself feeling quite stupid when Naruto kept looking at him like that. The deadpan never let him leaving. He was reminded of another blonde who used to make many people feel stupid with the same look on his face. Naruto spoke seriously, as if he had not noticed how uncomfortable the man was at all. Gigi, when you consider the size of this house, it is clear that no single person could take care of could take care of a place such as this by himself. I never said I wanted to live here. A small apartment would do. Besides, his expression turned a bit sad. This house is too big that the loneliness will start to bother me, considering whose house was this in the first place. Hiruzen was surprised at the maturity that Naruto was showing. People who are way older than Naruto aren't this mature, he thought with amazement. No matter how many times he saw Naruto, he was always stunned at how mature Naruto was for his age. Considering his options, he said, give me 1 hour, Naruto. Oh, I'm positive I can find an apartment big enough just for you. Until then, I assume you would want to read the contents of those letters, he said, giving him a significant glance. Complete with chin down and eyebrows raised. Naruto suddenly seemed to remember about the envelopes. His hand shot up to his lower pockets, and he had put them somewhere between his talk with Gigi. He looked up and replied, "Yes, that will do, Gigi." He left after muttering things about the atron and execution. After Gigi left, Naruto reached for the first letter that came to his hand. He read the kanji. Oh, apologies. He read the kanji on the envelope with wide eyes. Mother, it said, hands shaking because of nerves. He opened the letter. Naruto was a pretty fast reader. Not because he was eager to finish the books early. More like he was forced to become a fast reader. The matron at the orphanage would give him books, but would take them away very quickly, which is why she forced him to become a fast reader. But this letter was read very slowly, wanting to taste each word of his mother. Dear Naruto, Oh, my sweet little child, how I wish that I were alive to see you grow into a fine young man like your father. I'm writing this letter in case something happens to us and you are left alone. If you are reading this, it means that we are dead. We're so sorry for leaving you, baby. First things first, I love you with all my heart. Naruto. A mother never stops loving her child, even in death. No, I am still watching over you. And another thing. Don't you dare visit me unless you are 110 years old. I want you to live a full and happy life, and only die of old age. Second, if you decide to become a shinobi, remember the vices of shinobi life. Three vices of shinobi life. First is alcohol. Be responsible about it, and don't become a drunk. Second is money. Use it responsibly and try not to waste it. If you do want to waste it, better do it on your wife. The third is women, and as a mother, I absolutely forbid you to become a pervert and a womanizer. Respect women, and also find a woman you love and want to spend your life with. Do not settle for anything less. At the bottom of the letter, you will see two kanji. The first one contains my sword if you ever decide to take up kenjutsu. And second contains the ring ring which your father proposed me with. Excuse me for the little break, but we continue. At the bottom of this letter, you'll see two kanji. The first contains my sword, if you ever decide to pick up kenjutsu. The second contains the ring with which your father proposed me with. Give it to the girl you believe will love you for the rest of your life. Once again, your father, and I love you no matter what. Remember that, Naruto. With love, Kushina Uzumaki. P.S. Learning Fuinjutsu, the Uzumakis were known for it, and your father mastered it as well. I have 10 left. I have left 10 volumes of Fuinjutsu that I got from the Uzumaki archives. Everything you need to become a master. Best of luck, baby. Naruto was numb after reading the letter from his mother. He could not find the words to express how fulfilling and satisfying and amazing it was to hear words from his mother, even if it was on a letter. He saw the kanji that his mother mentioned and smiled, his face splitting a grin at that. His mother was awesome. He was so hyped up from reading his mother's letter that he almost forgot about his father's. He put the letter down gently, as if they were made of glass, and picked up his father's letter. Dear Naruto, if you are reading this letter, then it means that I'm no longer among the living. I desperately hope that your mother is with you, but if that is not the case, allow me to explain a few things. My name is Minato Namikaze, and as you probably have guessed, the Yandaime Hokage. If you already know this, then you are probably in the academy. If not, it is good to read. Keep it up if you did not know my identity as your father before this letter. Please don't be upset that the Sandaime Sama, I left him Sandaime Sama. I left him specific instructions that you were to be told about my identity if you were a chunin or married. I made many enemies during the Third Great Shinobi War, especially with Iwa. If people were to know about it, you would be made a prime target from all my enemies. I just want you to know that even if you are yet to be born, I love you with all my heart. It was the happiest day of my life when your mother announced that she was pregnant with you. Since I was an orphan, I really don't have any special jutsu to give you. But what I have left I'll help you master them. The improved notes made from the scratch in my quest to learn and master the Nindaime-sama's Hiraishin no Jutsu, which is also known as the Flying Raijin. After Hiraishin no Jutsu are in the first kanji at the bottom of this letter. Also, I leave the Rasengan to you in hopes that you can complete it. Something I could never do. It was in the second kanji. Your mother was an Uzumaki. Your mother, Kushina Uzumaki, and I was the loveliest and one of the most compassionate women I've ever met in my life. She is perhaps the only one who loves you more than I do. I have left you another surprise in the basement of this house, something of my own design, and perhaps my greatest Fuinjutsu achievement yet. Other than mastering the 8 trigram ceiling style, details are in the basement. Enjoy. With all the love in the world, Dad. Naruto did not know when he had started crying, but he did not care. He could feel his parents' love from the letter. He could almost see them smiling down on him from above. He wiped his tears off, a determined glint in his eyes. He would do his parents proud. He looked up and noticed that only a little over 5 minutes have passed. Good, a lot of time to explore. He nudged his partner mentally. Hey Kurama, you awake? We can finally explore the house. All he heard was a deep snore reverberating in his mind. That caused Naruto to sweat drop. How the hell was Kurama asleep? He was awake just 10 minutes ago. It's impossible to fall asleep that quick when all you do is laze around and not even get tired. He decided to leave the snoring fox alone and explore by himself. He found out that the room he slept the previous night in was his parents' room. Surprisingly, he found out that it was a little easier to not cry now. He found out a little easier to not cry. He found out that there were 4 bedrooms in total, his parents and his on the first floor, the guest bedrooms on the second floor. One good thing about his and his parents' bedrooms was that they had balconies attached to them. He got out of the house and let me repeat that again. I apologize for all the stuttering. He got out of the house and was stupefied at the space at the back of the house. It was almost 1/4 of the size of a trading ground, and Konoha's trading grounds are very large. He then finally decided to explore the basement, curious about the gift his father had left for him. Climbing down the stairs, he saw the basement and whistled lowly. Impressed with his father even more, he connected the dots and had to chuckle at how clever his father was. The basement was almost the size of the backyard, if only a bit smaller. But what was interesting that there were glass screens separating a large part of the basement from him. Just below the screen, there were a panel of 7 kanjis, each representing the number 1 to 7. He was a bit confused at that, and further when he saw a large seal array on the ceiling, the basement on the other side of the glass. He turned around, hoping to find something that would explain what the hell he was looking at. He spotted a notebook labeled Training Manual and picked it up. And apologies for the background noises. He opened it and found another note from his father. Dear Naruto, this is a training manual for what you are currently looking at. my greatest achievement, actually, till date. This is a training room I have designed to improve my taijutsu. Choose me. Oh, apologies for that, but I have to start over because I lost my place. But I continue. Dear Naruto, this is a training manual for what you are currently seeing. Sorry about that, but we move. This is a training manual for what you are currently looking at. My greatest achievement till date. This room I have designed to improve my taijutsu while not weak at it. I was not exactly strong either. I designed it and incorporated several taijutsu styles into this room, courtesy of Guy and Kakashi. If you ever meet Guy, just be a little cautious. He's always a bit too much. You must have noticed that the 7 kanjis on the panel, they are the 7 levels of training, much more difficult than the rest. I must advise you not to immediately go in there. Even if you have learned a taijutsu style already, I have designed this training room in the synchronization to resistance seals. You must only start if you have mastered the 6th level of resistance seals. If you are able to move comfortably at that level, you may be able to begin the 1st level. As you move onto higher resistance, you can improve. You can move. Move comfortably. You may begin the 1st level. As you move onto higher resistance, you can move onto the next level. For example, if you have mastered the 7th level of resistance, you can safely try the 2nd level of the training room. I have left a scroll of taijutsu style I created for myself. If you want, you can learn it. It's up to you, or you can create your own style for yourself. Remember, whatever fighting style you learn, it should have the symbolization of the 5 main elements of nature. It should be as aggressive as fire, as sharp as wind, as fast as lightning, as strong as earth, and as fluid as water. Good luck, Dad. Naruto was amazed at the end of the letter. His dad created a whole training room with simulations with Fuin Jutsu. From what he read until now, Fuin Jutsu was perhaps the most versatile art among all ninja arts. Anything is possible with Fuin Jutsu. He started making plans on how he was going to proceed with his keen ears, picking up a voice calling his name. Well, I'm actually going to be leaving it off there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this part, and I'll see you guys in the next part of this What If. Peace.